Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Santa Barbara Consortium Virtual College Fair. We've got an exciting session today. Before we begin, we'll cover a few housekeeping items. Note that your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists can't see or hear you. If you have questions, you can do so by using the Q&A button to type your question to the presenter at any time. We also have additional sessions available from other institutions, so if you have interest in another college or university, go ahead and sign up through the StriveScan website. Also note that we are recording the session and we'll post it to strivescan.com/CalSOAP once finalized and ready for viewing. With those behind us, we'll turn it over now to our first presenter from Biola University.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Donley, and I'm a transfer representative from Biola University. Biola University is a private Christian university, and we are located in La Mirada, California. What's super great of our location is in under a 30-minute drive, you could be enjoying a cup of coffee in one of the cool downtown LA coffee shops. You could be watching the sunset with friends at the beach after class, or you could be enjoying some Dole Whip at Disneyland. So we have a great location for student activity, but also our closest to LA just really opens up connection for internship opportunities and job opportunities as well. To go into a little bit more, Biola's student population is about 6,000 students, 4,000 of which make up our undergraduate population. What's great about this is we have a student to faculty ratio of 14:1. So it really allows you to get those intimate connections with not only your peers in class, but your professors. I personally have had experience in larger institutions where I really only worked with graduate instructors and never really got the face time with my professor. So you're really going to grow in actually getting to learn about what your professor is studying and who your professor is. What's also great about Biola is we are actually ranked as in US News and World Reports as a best national university to go to. What's great about this is it was solely based on our academics. I know some people do hear private Christian institution and think there will be a little bit more focus on religion, but since this was based just on our academics, you know that you're going to be getting quality education here at Biola. Some of our majors that we offer amongst our 40 majors and over 80 concentrations are listed here. To touch on some, our business administration graduates, about 95% report being in either a job or grad school within 6 months of graduation. Our cinema and media arts program is actually rated a top 40 film school in the nation. Our School of Education allows you to work towards a credential while you're getting your bachelor's degree done. And our nursing program is actually rated as the 7th best in California. So at Biola, our mission is to just really equip young men and women to impact the world for the Lord Jesus Christ through biblically centered education, scholarship, and service. And how we aim to do that is to really encourage students to think biblically about everything. We do this through just really having biblical integration in your classes and community life. We also have wonderful community life where students can participate in things like campus-wide dodgeball tournaments, lip singing competitions, and even talent shows where we get to enjoy pumpkin pie during the fall time. And we encourage students to really elevate their faith through the different chapels and conferences that we have on campus. We see our mission being met in our graduates where 87% are actually thriving in careers or education within 6 to 12 months of graduating, and 90% of our students have had at least one internship while getting their undergraduate degree at Biola. We see our graduates making an impact in companies like Apple, Disney, Boeing, Kaiser Permanente, and even NASA. And a lot of these companies really want to work with our students as well because they know that they're receiving good education, but that they're also really nice people to work with too. So one thing about college is definitely financial aid. And although our sticker price is there listed, what's great is virtually no student pays this price because 100% of our students receive one or more financial aid. One of the forms of financial aid we offer for both transfer and freshmen is actually our academic scholarship, which is based solely on the GPA that you come into Biola with. And that means you'll be getting anywhere from $13,000 to $21,000 a year based on your GPA. We also have more than 10 university-funded scholarship opportunities like our first gen, our leaders engaged in advancing diversity, and many other. So there's a lot of different ways that we really want to help you pay for your education because we believe in investing in your education. Some quick requirements for Biola is because we are a Christian university, we do have the Christian faith integration. For transfer students, we do have a 2.5 unweighted college GPA. For freshmen, that's going to be a 3.0. If you are transferring in, you will need about 15 units or more to be considered a transfer student. And then for both freshmen and transfers, we do require personal essays. So those that can be found in our application. And if you want to know any more information, please feel free to reach out. I'll also plug this in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're on to our next institution, Westmont College.
Thank you very much for having me. Excited to present. And thanks, Emma, for talking about Biola. I have a sister who's about to graduate from there, and another sister who's going to graduate from Westmont in about a month. So they're twins. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, are you guys not seeing? I had a slide. I don't know exactly where it went. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Okay, my slides kind of went away, so I may have to ditch them for a sec. I just had them up. That's okay, I can do it without it. So you guys can hear me okay? Yeah, okay. So my name is Matt Pace. I am a senior admissions counselor from Westmont, and I graduated from Westmont in 2016. Loved my experience. It was incredible and gave me a lot of amazing memories and friendships and mentors along the way. I work with all students from Santa Barbara County, so happy to work with anyone one-on-one through this process and just make it simple and fun and easy on you. I'm going to talk about a few distinctives, some things that we're kind of known for, and then again, if you ever want to have a more one-on-one conversation, I'm happy to do that. So first thing is that we are a liberal arts college. This means we're very interdisciplinary, very flexible, and very explorative. You get 2 years to pick your major, so you have all that time to navigate your purpose and passion, and there's no pressure to pick a path early on. So that was something that stressed me out. Everyone asked me what my career was going to be, what my major was going to be coming in, and I had no idea. And Westmont gave me the time and space to figure that out. We're very known for business, biology, pre-med, kinesiology, just a few examples, but we have 30 other majors that are all incredible. So no pressure to know soon. We're also fully undergraduate. This is something that's very underrated, in my opinion. The fact that we don't have any grad students to compete with you for things like research opportunities or internships, or just collaborating closely with your professors. So most of our students will get an internship before they graduate. That's a great resume builder. A lot of students will do research. So about 93% of our pre-med students get into med school, and we're ranked in the top 5 for student and professor interaction. So I think that's because we don't have any grad students to kind of take away those opportunities from students. Like Biola, we also are a Christian institution. So Christ is at the center of our character and our mission and really informs the entire experience. Kind of that main highlights there are chapel. We have that 3 times a week where the entire community can be together under the same roof in the same building, just worshiping together. We also have Bible courses that students are required to take, and faith is really integrated into each class and each major in kind of a unique way. The goal is for you to grow and to contribute to society after in a Christ-centered fashion. So you'll be surrounded by people who also care about their faith and will want to uplift you and challenge you in that. So we're interdenominational as well. This is a pretty diverse representation of church background and thought and perspective, which makes it quite dynamic. One thing that's really important to us is global engagement. So if anyone wants to study abroad, that's one of the best things we do. About 2/3 of our students will study abroad for an entire semester. I was only at Westmont for 3 years myself and had a chance to do 2 study abroad programs. So that was really, really incredible. You can go all over the world. It's very accessible because all of your financial aid goes with you. So your scholarships and your need-based aid, any talent-based scholarships you earn, that will all travel to different countries with you. So usually the only difference is the plane ticket. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to travel the world and get a very interculturally immersive experience, Westmont can definitely help facilitate that. It's very, very important to us. And then we're also fully residential. So this is probably at the core of our reputation and kind of what most people think of when they think of Westmont. And I'm sure if you asked like 100 students at Westmont right now what their favorite part of being at the college is, probably like 95% of them would say they love the community. I heard that time and time again when I was visiting different colleges. It kept coming up with Westmont that it has such a strong community. And then when I went and visited, I understood why. The main reason is everyone lives there for all 4 years. So you're doing daily life alongside friends, you're eating meals together, you're doing study groups together. It's not a commuter school where people just go to class and then leave to go back to their apartments. Everyone lives there the entire time. So that just creates a really, really fun atmosphere. And I love that. I think most people do. We also have really good financial aid. So like Emma said, don't be too deterred by the sticker price, really, of any private institution. The sticker price is around $65,000 a year. Almost no one pays that amount. The average financial aid package last year was about $40,000. So students were paying closer to about $25,000 per year, a lot less scary than 65. Our scholarships are very transparent. And again, I apologize, I don't have the slide because I could have showed that, but I can answer any questions anytime. Those range from 15 to 25,000 per year. And that's based on this year solely academic GPA because we're test optional. On a normal year, we would add the test component in as well. We also do have need-based aid and talent-based scholarships for sports, theater, music, and art, and all of that stuff would stack on top of each other. So it becomes much more affordable. Come visit anytime. We love having visitors. We can create a very immersive experience. You can go to chapel, go to class, talk with a professor or a coach, and you could talk with us in the admissions office. And we would love that. We just like the chance to talk to students and get to know you in a personal way as more than just a GPA. So reach out to me anytime, and I'm more than happy to help in whatever way I can. Thank you so much.
Matt, thanks so much. We're on to our next institution, St. Mary's College of California.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good to be here and glad able to present to you tonight. I'm going to share my screen here. And yeah, you guys can see that. Let me turn the presentation on. Oops, sorry. All right. As I mentioned, I'm Craig Means from St. Mary's College. Let me get back to slide number 1. Oops. I'm the Associate Dean for Transfer Admissions here at St. Mary's College, but I also do work with first-year students. I'm our athletic liaison. We are located in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we are just about 4.5 miles from the Santa Barbara area. We are in a town called Moraga. We are about 20 miles east of San Francisco, considered to be in the East Bay Area, just short of being under the Oakland Hills. And I'm sorry, I'm not seeing why my other slide isn't on there. Our undergraduate size is about 2,300 undergraduate students, and we are what's called a Catholic LaSallian institution. I'll get to that in just a second. And we also have Division I sports at St. Mary's, along with intramural and club sports and things like that. So the slide that should be up now is I now want to jump in, as I mentioned, about our Catholic LaSallian. We are a Catholic college, and the branch or the arm, I guess you can say, or the order that we're connected with is the LaSallian mission. So it's an educational mission, like Jesuit or Franciscan, things like that. So the focus is on educating the student. As you can see on the screen, there's 5 core principles that we adhere to: respect for all persons, faith in the presence of God, concern for the poor and social justice, quality education, inclusive community. And you get to define those for yourself. You do not have to be Catholic to come to St. Mary's. I've been working here for 25 years, and I myself am not Catholic, but I do connect deeply with the LaSallian mission because a lot of it's about service. And as you can see there, concern for the poor and social justice. So to touch base a little bit more on that history, the founder of the LaSallian mission, John Baptist de La Salle, was someone back in 16th century France who actually came from wealth. And he was highly educated. And back in 16th century France, the only people who were educated were the wealthy. He thought differently. He gave up his wealth. He started opening schools to educate the poor and the working class at that time. And so that mission is carried forth today. So the focus is, as you see there, on that mission of the care and concern for social justice. I don't know why my slides are not advancing here. Oh, here we go. Thank you. As I mentioned, we are a liberal arts college, as in some of the colleagues had mentioned before. There's a lot of differences in terms of that type of a curriculum. You know, a lot of it's rooted in critical thinking, problem solving skills, the ability to communicate. You get to focus on a lot of different areas of subjects in your core requirements, and then focus again onto your majors. So one thing I want to highlight in reference to our liberal arts, and again, I don't know why my slides are not advancing. There we go. There are a couple of unique things I want to mention really quick. Collegiate seminar is part of our liberal arts curriculum, where you sit, as you see on the screen here, in a format, and 50% of the grade is based upon discussion, right? So you are called upon to participate in discussion, but in the setting, you're not judged. It's a part of your curriculum. Your voice, as you see on the screen, it says finding your voice. That's the beauty about collegiate seminars, being able to share your insight, not be judged by it. So your instructor is doing less talking, and you as the students get to kind of chime in on the readings, and it's based upon your interpretation. So that really hones those skills that we like to see in the liberal arts, of being able to communicate effectively, being able to critically think. Another unique component of our curriculum is January term. So some mentioned study abroad. We operate on what's called a 4-1-4 calendar. So our students take 4 classes in the fall, 1 class in January, 4 classes in the spring. January term is a time to take something different, something unique, something not focused on your major. You see some examples there of collegiate seminar. So again, deeply rooted in the liberal arts, and a chance to take a broad-based, unique courses. On this screen, you'll see a list of our majors. We have 3 different schools: a School of Liberal Arts, School of Business, School of Science. There's just some examples of the majors right there. You are guaranteed on-campus housing your first 2 years. You're required your first year to live on campus. As a transfer student, you're not if you choose to transfer. And you can see about 50 clubs and organizations, ability to work, things like that. As I mentioned before, we are a Division I school. The cost for the year is about $67,572 when you have everything in terms of room and board, books and fees, things like that. Average financial aid package is about $38,000. As you can see on this, we do offer merit scholarships too, and that's something based upon merit on your GPA before we even take a look at the FAFSA. So you can receive up to $29,000 just in a merit-based scholarship, 22 if you're a transfer student, and that's before being able to get other types of loans, grants, work study, other scholarships, other merit-based aid. Our deadlines are right there. We do have, for first year and transfer, both fall and spring application deadlines. We have the Common App, as well as we have our own application. So we don't have a preference over which one that you seek in terms of applying to St. Mary's. And if you are looking to transfer, the average GPA is about a 2.5. If you're looking to come out of high school, we're right around a 3.0, but we don't have any particular requirements. Again, it's a holistic review when we're taking things into consideration. So hope to see you at St. Mary's. Thanks.
Craig, thanks so much. We're on to our final presenter from Linfield University.
Great. And can everybody see the screen all right?
Yep, I can see it.
All right, thanks you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. So this is Linfield University. My name is Chris. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Linfield. I'll just go over some of the brief facts real quick. So we are a liberal arts institution, just kind of very similar to the last couple of universities. So we have about 1,400 undergraduates at our university. We have about 189 acres. We're Division III. We are not religiously affiliated. And then we have about a third of our students are students of color, and then we have a third of our students are Christian students. So a lot of diversity and a pretty big campus. This is just an overshot right here. So some of our most popular majors are psychology, education. Our School of Business is popular. And then kind of most of these on the screen are some of our bigger ones. We do have a separate nursing campus, and that's actually in Northeast Portland. And kind of the benefit of being in Portland is we're just really central to a lot of different hospitals. So if you're a nursing student, you would be able to access your clinicals kind of within a very central region. So that is a 20-acre campus, and you would do your first year if you were a nursing student You would do your first 2 years at McMinnville, kind of doing your prerequisites, your gen eds, and your electives. And then you do your more course specific, and you'd finish your 2 years in the Portland nursing campus. And then you'd kind of do your clinicals at that time as well. So we do have the Linfield curriculum. That's 10 courses that you have to satisfy within our curriculum. It's very flexible, like a lot of the other panelists were saying. It's a liberal arts university, so there's a lot of flexibility within that, within your courses that you can take. So you can kind of broaden your sense of understanding in the world and kind of explore your interests. Some other cool things, we do have student faculty collaborative research projects. Essentially, if you haven't heard what these are, they're just real world or questions that you might want to do some research on. And these are just some examples here. Kind of the benefit of these are they look great on your resume. You can use them as job experiences, and they just really kind of help you bond with your professors and make good connections going forward. Study abroad is also very popular at our school. About 40% of our students go abroad, so we actually pay for the first round trip airfare. So that's awesome. We have about 14 different countries and 31 partner locations. So like most of the other, we do have that financial aid, and the registrar kind of carries over for your study abroad experience. So the cost of going abroad is very similar to a cost of a semester at Linfield. We do offer them for January term, a semester and year-long abroad terms. So definitely encourage studying abroad. I actually went to France, and it was a very developmental phase of my life, and I really enjoyed it. So some of the other parts, we do have our ASLU, which is our student government, and there's positions you can join us, like a president, treasurer, secretary, all of those positions. So that's pretty much our students. They run a lot of our events that happen on campus. So those are student health positions that you could do. We have 14 performing groups, art groups, which include choir, the band, theater, dance team, a lot of those. So there's always something going on around campus. And then we have the media organizations, which include our Linfield podcast and the Linfield Review, and those are both student run. So those are also jobs that you could do. And then we also have Greek life. So we have fraternities and sororities. We do have a three-year residential requirement, and so kind of first 2 years would be dorm styles, and then the last year or two would be more apartment styles where you have your own room. We do have 21, actually 23 now, Division III sports. We just added wrestling for this next coming year, so we're really excited about that. Some of our most popular ones are football, and then obviously that track and field and basketball. So those are just our application dates. We did have that early action deadline, which actually got extended to this November 7th. So if you're still interested in applying for early action, you can still do that within the next couple of days. And then regular decision would be February 1st. Kind of like what we're going over with, like some of the other panelists said, the tuition cost, tuition room and board is $60,000 around there. Don't worry, that gets cut down pretty quickly. So our average financial aid package is about $40,000. And that would include your merit scholarship, which is kind of the biggest chunk, your FAFSA, music scholarships, and first gen and need-based aid. So we are open for in-person individual campus tours. So if you wanted to kind of explore the campus, feel free to sign up on our website. Aside from that, I'll drop my info in the chat. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. With all of our presenters finished today, we will spend the remaining time talking through the following questions, which we'll ask each of our presenters to weigh in on, starting in the order that they presented. So the first question we have is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I think going through the college search process, a big thing for me, especially as a transfer student, was financial aid. So I would just really encourage you to look through the different forms of aid. I know being private schools as well, it can seem a little bit pricier, but I think there is sometimes a misconception that private schools are way out of somebody's ballpark, but actually, like Biola, like some of these other school mentioned as well, there are different scholarships available to students from academic to even just circumstantial scholarships. So I really encourage you to look through the different financial aid things that are available to you.
I would highly encourage visiting as many college campuses as you can. I know it can be hard to get to everywhere, maybe, especially if you're looking out of state, but that really will provide the best glimpse of what life is like on campus, what the culture is like. You could do a lot of research and you could talk to, admissions people like us to figure that out, but it's the best when you can actually walk and on campus and talk to people and, talk to coaches, talk to professors, talk to students. That's the most helpful thing that I think you could do through this process.
Great. And I, two things really, actually. One similar to Matt's, go to the colleges that you're seeking if you can. And I would have said that anyways, but I specifically say that in this time that we're in post-pandemic, right? Recognizing, for example, seniors in high schools right now didn't have that opportunity in their college search process to physically go places. So if you can physically go see the schools that you are looking at, do so. It's very helpful. Secondly, I'd say in realms of financial aid to exhaust all the resources, right? Yes, all of us publish our merit-based scholarships, our processes, our FAFSAs, and those types of things. But dig deep. There's a lot of resources out there beyond schools. There's community scholarships, things like that. Because we're all independent colleges and the price tag can be higher than the UC and the Cal State systems. Really exhaust your resources in seeking out the financial piece of that.
Yeah, I would say definitely trying to find an alumni who graduated from that college that you're kind of interested in would be really awesome. Just to kind of get a lot of the details. Typically, they'll have a semi-unbiased opinion. If they don't have any affiliation, they can tell you kind of the traditions of the college or kind of any ins and outs that you might be curious about. So definitely, I would say maybe like try to contact an alumni if you know one.
Thank you so much. We're on to our second question. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
One thing that just personally even stood out to me about Biola is just the really core community that you're going to get there. You're going to be able to just do things with other faculty and get to have relationships with your professor, but you're also going to get to do a lot of really fun things with your peers and who you're taking classes with or who you're living with. And I think that's a really important part of college because you're going to be spending a lot of time around these people. And there are just a lot of different ways to get really plugged in and really experience the whole community that Biola has to offer.
So one thing that I would want students to remember about Westmont is actually something I didn't really touch on too much. So sorry about this, but we are in Santa Barbara, which is an incredible location. It's an insanely fun place to call home for college. We are ranked the #1 city in America for best weather. So it's always nice to be outside. It's always sunny and like perfect weather. A couple years ago, we were ranked the 3rd best place to visit in the world. And a lot of that was based on food. That was important to me. We have really good food and we were ranked best tacos in California. So if that's important to anyone else, I thought that was pretty cool. And it's a very, very fun place to live while you're in college. We're right by the beach. We're right in between the mountains. So there's just a lot of fun to be had here in Santa Barbara.
And I promise you, I wasn't saying this just because Emma had said it as well, because I was thinking of it, and I think she did a wonderful job explaining that. One thing I would say is a sense of community. It's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, based upon that size of our college, but just as well as the camaraderie and I think being a mission-driven school only enhances and adds that sense of community. So we are a community here. and that word is probably overused here in a good way. That's the one thing I would say I would want people to remember about our institution.
Yeah, kind of similar to Craig and Emily. We do have like a very tight-knit community, but also our location is pretty awesome. We're kind of in the center of a lot of different activities. So we're about an hour from the beach. So if you're into surfing or if you're into kayaking or snowboarding, we're about 2.5 hours from the mountains, or like Mount Hood if you wanted to go snowboarding. So it's definitely a great hub to try out a lot of different things. If you were kind of curious about getting into new activities, hiking, it's a great place. The Pacific Northwest is a really great place to kind of do outdoors activities as well.
Thank you. We'll move on to our last question. What is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I think one, I don't know if it's a myth, but just maybe an encouragement is that the people going and helping you with this process do actually care. There's so many wonderful people in this room that I'm sure care about their students, and a lot of people, whether it be at your high school, your community college, they're going to want to help you move on, but also at the universities you're transferring into, there are going to be some people that care about you. So I would really lean into that resource of people as well. And just use people as a resource too, to know maybe even what classes to take, how to pay for your education, and really just how to get the most out of your college experience.
So one stressor that I have found as I've worked with students over the last few years, and even for myself when I was in student shoes, is that there's this idea that there's one soulmate college for everyone. And I think that's a myth that is harmful for a couple of reasons. One, no school is absolutely perfect. So you're not going to find a college where there's no challenges or no turbulence along the way. So you want to manage your expectations accordingly. And if you think there's this perfect soulmate college that you found, chances are you might be a little disappointed at some point, and you want to be resilient and be able to manage those challenges. At the same time, another harmful kind of outcome of buying into this myth is that you're not giving yourself enough credit that you're going to thrive in multiple contexts. I would say be confident in your abilities as a student and your character as a person, and just know that there's probably multiple contexts, multiple colleges where you're going to do well and you're going to flourish, and you don't need to stress so hard over finding the exact one. Like, there are a few amazing colleges in this room here, and if you are ambitious and motivated and have a good work ethic, you're going to do great at any of them. So I think it's just a myth that there's only one place, and if you don't find that place, you're going to be miserable. I don't think that's helpful. So be confident in yourself.
I stopped using the phrase private colleges, and I always say independent colleges now. So one myth I would say is don't let the price tag of an independent college frighten you from applying. And here's why. I tell this to the transfer students that I work with, as well as first-year students. Many of ours, we are independent colleges. So we all, even though we're a private sector per se, we all have different uniquenesses and different requirements. There is a commonality that it's a little bit pricier, right? But I would say many of us have fee waivers, right? And many of us will accept unofficial transcript to give you a decision. So when I say debunk the myth, it costs you nothing to apply. A lot of times you can get a free unofficial high school transcript or a free college transcript. And with those fee waiver codes costing you nothing to apply, you get a decision. Once you get the decision, the ball is in your court. To get a financial aid package costs you nothing to find out the information. You fill out the FAFSA, you get a financial aid package, then you have all the information right there in front of you. You get to make the decision rather than just assuming, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, so therefore I'm not going to apply. I was the product of a community college that went to an independent college. I remember saying the same thing to my parents. Their first words were, it's too expensive. Well, there's this nifty thing called financial aid, and it ended up being working out for me. So I would say don't be afraid of applying just because of the price tag.
I think one of the myths I would say might be that it's not that important to maybe like apply until your senior year or whatnot. There's definitely a lot of advantages of getting started on your college search early. So just kind of searching out colleges like your junior year, you can tour more colleges, get a feel for kind of what you're looking for, and then start filtering out, what colleges exactly you're kind of interested in, what exactly you're looking for. So it also helps you applying earlier, getting more of that information that you need, like your financially, like we were talking about. It gets you all of the information you need sooner, so you can make a really well-informed decision when the time comes. So I definitely say like jump on the, try to jump on it as quick as you can, and kind of, be proactive about the process and not kind of like wait just until your senior year to kind of then start looking at universities or colleges.
Thank you. And that'll conclude today's session. We want to thank all of our participants, our attendees as well. We've got a quick 5-question survey on the StriveScan website, so we'd ask that you fill that out at your convenience. Again, another reminder, we have some more sessions, so if you have interest in those, go ahead and reach back out. Finally, note the recording of this will be posted to the website at strivescan.com/CalSOAP. Hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you later.